ton of you on here. So I'm not gonna take too much of your time tonight. Try to keep it like 20, 25 minutes. And I'm gonna start out with a little bit of my personal background, because that plays into so much of why I'm a coach and the overcoming fear part as well. So I never really had any interest in health and fitness for ever. I would kind of pretend to go to the gym and stuff every once in a while, but never really interested at all. And when I was 27, I was 26. I had a 4-year-old daughter and a 9-month-old. I had gotten married the prior December, and in March of 2010, I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Again, my daughters were 4 and 9 months old at the time. And it kind of started out with I don't have a choice here. I have to beat this. And being scared and dealing with chemo and radiation and all the things that came along with that were just, it wasn't an option to live in fear that whole time, because I had these 2 little girls and my husband at home that I needed to be here for. And so that was in March of 2010. I went through chemo and radiation. Both took about a year of each of those between the 2, and was actually given my bill of remission in August of that same year, although I continued treatment after that. And it was within that same year that I became involved with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and started doing triathlons through there. And that's kind of where my fitness journey started. I was straight out of chemo. I was still going through some chemo when I started training for the triathlons. And during that time, started going to our local YMCA and got involved in classes there. And they asked me to start teaching. Started doing that. Still continued on with some health issues. Due to the radiation I had, we lost a baby in 2014 and found out the following year that I was so scarred up from radiation that I would end up having a full hysterectomy. And again, that comes into the fear, because it was so bad that my doctor told me if I had not been in the shape I was in, may not have made it through that surgery. It was about a 12.5-hour surgery, very detailed. So that was very scary for me. And it's just one of those, I had to go in and I had to do it, because if I wouldn't have, I probably wouldn't be here today. But back up one year, my coach started inviting me about July of 2015. She found me on Instagram and I said no. I was too good for Beachbody. I wasn't going to do this at-home workout. I was a self-proclaimed gym rat. And she asked me for a full year, and I continued to say no. And finally, I realized that even with teaching at the gym and all the classes I was teaching, doing my own workouts, I wasn't having the success I wanted to. And so I finally said yes to coaching. And I was so scared to announce I was a coach. I was so afraid of what people were going to think. Oh, she goes to the gym, she teaches classes, and she's doing this Beachbody thing. And I was terrified to announce I was even a coach, of what people were going to think. And I just want to talk some tonight about what fear does and how to move through it. The first point I want to make is fear paralyzes action. How many times have you gone through and you're like, I really want to talk to this one person, and that's my dream coach, but you're scared to talk, and you're like, I'm going to do it today. So you get on your Facebook, like, I'm going to message them, and you scroll and you scroll and you scroll, or you flip through Instagram, and you've sat there forever, and you're pretending to work, but you don't do what you say you were going to when you got on there, because you're scared to talk to this person. So you get paralyzed by this fear, whether it's to invite a specific person or to invite or talk to people in general. We tend to get on and we find so many things to do when we're supposed to be doing something else. It's kind of like the way I say it. One way to start moving past that is see yourself as being unafraid. And it's hard to do that, but you go in and you can give yourself these affirmations of, I am going to do this. I am not a scared person. There's no reason I should be afraid. This person's going to love me, or these people that I invite are going to jump on this and be so excited about it. And not only does that mindset help you move forward, but that excitement that you get from it comes through as well on the other side. Another thing that helps is practicing it's what called the as if. And this is one of the things that I've learned on a lot of the diamond training calls. Act like you're that diamond coach. Act like you're that 10-star diamond, that 15-star diamond. You've already made it. Like, don't talk as though you're fearful and you're not quite sure what you're doing. Like, you are it, and these people want to be on your team. Speak to them as if you are that superstar diamond coach and you want those people on your team. Something else that you need to do is move toward the fear and identify it. A lot of times we don't specify what we're scared of. We're afraid of inviting. Well, why are you afraid of inviting? Are you afraid of someone saying no? Are you afraid of the rejection? Are you afraid of what someone's going to say about you? Identify the real reason why you're afraid to do whatever it is, whether it's announcing you're a coach or inviting, posting about coaching, posting about income. You have to identify the reason you are fearful in order to be able to move past it. And the only way out of the fear is to move through it. And as Nike says, just do it. And the more you do something, the less afraid you're going to be. It's like, I don't know. Bailey said I'm 19 months in Success Club, and you guys also heard that I've been a coach for 3 years. Well, that tells you something. I should be in Success Club for 36 months now, or actually 39. I was afraid to invite people. I was terrified. I would sit at my computer or with my phone and do what I said earlier. I would scroll and flip through and look through Instagram and make a post, look through Facebook, go to old messages. I would do everything I was not supposed to be doing, except for I would do everything but invite. My hair just fell. And it was me being afraid of what they were going to think about me. And I go back to one time, I've told this story a couple times, make sure my oldest daughter is not around. I was married previously, and we were married about 3 years. And I remember one time my ex-husband telling me, you're not going to be able to do anything without me. You're not going to be able to make it. You're not going to make anything of yourself without me. And that stuck with me for so long. And even though I never even pinpointed in my mind that's what it was, but it did. I'll never amount to anything. And these people aren't going to want to join my team. And I had to really work on myself. Personal development was a big part of it, and move past that. Something I was reading about, I spoke of affirmations a little earlier. Something I was reading about those, if you use those, they will actually rewire your brain. And you can't get up every morning and say, I'm a millionaire, and it happened. It just doesn't work that way. But you can get up and go, I am going to do everything I can do today to move forward in my business. I am going to do everything I can do today to reach my fitness goals. I'm going to do everything I can today to be the best mom, to be the best wife. I'm going to do everything in my power to move my business forward. And those are the affirmations that you need to be saying to yourself every morning. Because waking up and telling yourself you're a millionaire or you're a superstar isn't going to make that happen. But if you tell yourself you're going to do everything in your power to move forward to be that, that is what's going to move you forward in life, in business, in general. Developing a plan is going to help you move through fear. Having unclear goals and unclear plans of what you want to do means you're going to sit there and you're going to start doing 100 things other than the one thing you need to be doing, because you don't have that clear cut, okay, I am going to invite 20 people today. If you say, I'm just going to sit down and do some inviting, what happens? Has anybody ever done that? And they end up, you might invite 2 or 3 people. You might not invite any. You might go comment on some posts or start looking at funny memes. And the next thing you know, 2 hours have passed and you haven't invited or made that post that you were a little worried about making or made that phone call you needed to make. So develop a plan. Write out your goals. This has helped a lot for me. Writing my goals down, writing a daily plan down. I don't know. Do any of you do the Josh Coates Push Mastermind? I see a couple nodding heads, at least heard of it. One of the things he says is write down every day what your plan is. That keeps you from philandering, so to speak, and doing a ton of things you don't need to be doing. Another thing, let's see, I've got my notes here because I forget what I'm going to say. The one big thing I think is do something every day that scares you. For us, and the reason we're here on this call, and this is my one thing today because I am terrified of speaking in front of people. And I told Bailey earlier, I was like, I'm so nervous. And I didn't expect this many people. And I'm glad I didn't expect this many people because I might have told her I was sick or something. But do something every day that scares you. Reach out to that one person that you're just intimidated by, but you want on your team so bad. Or that person that you went to high school with that you're like, why would she want to join my accountability group? Make that conversation happen with the person that there's tension with and you really need to talk to and get that out of the way. Reach out to that coach who has fallen off the wagon and you're scared you're going to push them away by talking to them or saying something. I had to do that myself today. And it can be scary and you can be worried, but like I said earlier, the only way out is to push through it entirely. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything so far? I speak really fast when I'm nervous, and so I plan to have like 15, 20, 30 minutes of talking. It ends up being less because I talk so fast.
You're not talking fast, trust me. You're not. I
feel like I am. I'm from the South. I'm talking fast for me.
I just have a takeaway. I think it's awesome that you were talking about, I have some coaches even on my team that, they show up every day, they're scrolling on Facebook, they're making posts and they're commenting. And the one thing that holds them back the most is inviting. And I think that once you keep doing it, you get better at it.
Yes.
I know for myself in the beginning when I started doing this, I've been a coach for 5 years. I've even had times where I've been working the script and highlighted it. I don't know if you guys have ever done this and pasted them and it says step 2 at the top. So embarrassing. Maybe you haven't, but I've done that.
I've done it, or leave the quotation marks on it where somebody gave you
insert your coach ID here or things like that. And I think that that's the biggest thing that you think doesn't happen to, successful coaches, but it does. And we get better at it as we go. So what would be your biggest piece of advice for new coaches that, are just, obviously face their fears, but what helped you, send those initial invites to get them out there, or what kind of things, do you have a thought process you go through, or do you just do it? Do you focus on your why?
I have to just do it.
To do the unsexy part of this business is what I like to call it.
Yeah. I have to just do it. I go in, I typically invite from people that watch stories on my Instagram. I do some from people that like post, but I get the most traction from people that watch my stories. And I just saw somebody say, what's your breakdown of inviting to coaching and challenge groups? So I'll get into that too. But it's just simple. Like, hey, saw you watching my stories. Thanks so much. I'm getting ready for this new program. It's 100 days. I love the workouts. We got to preview it as coaches. Love to have you do it with me. What you think? Like, super simple. I don't give way too much information because I tend to word vomit, and I don't want to get those messages myself. And so I try not to do it to anybody else. For inviting to challenge groups, that is pretty much what I do. Or if it's from a post, hey, thanks so much for the love on my post. It's hard to put those before and afters out there sometimes. Totally random, but getting my group together for July, why don't you join us? And that tends to be about how my invites are. If they don't respond within a couple of days, I'll usually follow up. Hey, I just want to make sure you got my message. If they've been, and somebody posted this in one of our diamond groups a couple of days ago, and I did it today and it helped. It was like, hey, it's the people that have ghosted you. Hey, all these messages I know, but I know I ghosted my coach for up to almost a year before I finally said yes. So I'm going to keep asking until you tell me to go away. Ha ha. Got a new group starting, 100-day program. Workouts are killer. Why don't you join us now? And those are getting responses from people that have ghosted. Just be super lighthearted and add some emojis in there where they're a little funny, and that kind of puts you over the awkward edge to the emojis, the laughing. It takes the seriousness out of it and gives it some lightheartedness. Yes, I will share that. I think that was to me. And then coaching, it depends really on if I've developed a relationship with the person or if it's somebody I found and I'm like, I really need to have this person on my team. Excuse me, I don't know what happened there. I will just send something like, hey, found your page. You're rocking this fitness life or this fitness and mom life you've got going on. Have you ever thought about coaching like I do? And I'll usually just leave it at that. And it's funny, I signed one of my coaches back in April. I had messaged her that on February 15th, and she didn't respond for 2 months. And then when she responded, all she said was, I'm interested. So it's like, okay. And then we moved over to Facebook, and I had a What Is Coaches coaching group going on. And we had said like 5 words to each other. I was like, this girl's never going to sign up. She's from Canada. I'd never signed a Canadian coach. And she looked through it and messaged me like 30 minutes. She's like, okay, I'm ready. And she signed 6 coaches up within like 6 weeks. I mean, it was crazy. Completely unexpected, but it was just hey, have you ever thought about doing this? Super simple invite that I sent, and it worked. And before, that's something I would have never done. I would have been terrified to have sent a message like that. What are they going to think? And I don't know if you guys have seen it. It comes across, especially on Facebook a lot, the stop cold messaging and people screenshotting messages they're getting from people. And for a while that paralyzed me because I'm like, I might have talked to this person 1 or 2 times, but I don't want to come across as whatever. And I wouldn't ever send the message. And I finally got where you ignore it. And if they don't like it and if they screenshot it and post it, oh, well, they're not my people. And if people get upset with you for posting or for messaging them and for talking to them, they're not your people. Move on, because your people are out there and you will find them. Anything else anybody wants to add or ask?
I have something I just want to, it's Lauren, by the way, on here. I feel like I really need a pep talk right now. I'm a new coach, and like my mind and my brain and everything like really on one level gets it. But like these last 2 weeks, I've gotten so many no's. I just want to like put my freaking head in the sand. But like I'm not gonna give up. So it's not like I'm ever gonna give up. But it's just like right now, I'm like going through it. Everyone gets to this point, and then everyone gets past it. So I get that. But like I don't have like I just need someone to say something to me. For a minute, like to get me through like besides just myself telling myself this, you know what I mean? And how did you get past the really hard parts? Like,
You just have to move through it. Have you read the book Go for No by chance? Who's read that book?
no, I haven't read it, and I know it's out there, and I literally was thinking that like right now while I'm listening, I'm like, I'm reading Girl Stop Apologizing, but I'm like, I need to stop because this is where I'm at now. I need to like go for now.
Get the book Go for No. It'll take you like an hour and a half to read. I read it in one day. It is so good. I highly recommend it to everybody, no matter what kind of business you're in. You need to read that book because it really puts those no's you're getting into perspective. And you have to get no's in order to get yeses. And the more no's you get, the closer you're getting to a yes. And it's just part of business building. It is hard. It's no fun to hear those no's or to get the ghost. I would rather hear no than somebody just not answer me at all. That drives me crazy. But just keep moving forward because, gosh, if I had a dollar for every no I'd gotten, I'd be a millionaire. I wouldn't need to do this. But it's just part of the business. Maybe get with your coach too and look at your invites, screenshot them, screenshot your conversations. Sometimes there's some tweaking that can be done there too. Little wording here and there can change how somebody's looking at it. For example, I used to say, I would love for you to join us. And now it's like, you should do this with us. Just a little slight change in wording there makes a big difference in how it's perceived on the other end. So maybe screenshot some of your conversations and I don't know who your coach is, but get with her and see if there's something you can do with wording and whatnot too.
Yeah, Marie's my coach, and she's great. And I did run things by her first. I really think I just have really crappy people that I'm friends with online right now, and I just need to do better, like finding my target market, like, you know what I mean? But it's just been like, because I'm a really competitive person, and I just want the win. But I know I'll get it. Like I know it's coming, but it's
it is, and you're clearly excited about this, and you have a passion for it, and it will come. It may not be it may not be in the exact timing that you want, because is it ever? But you can do this, and it's just make your mind up. And I'm going to get 20 no's today. And if you get 10 yeses, then you have to keep going because you didn't get your 20 no's. Go for no, not yes.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Have you read the Build to Last book and heard the flip the cup analogy yet? Every time I get like super down or I'm like having a tough week, I think about that. She talks about how you're in a gym and like there's solo cups flipped over, and under 5 of them out of like 5,000, I can't remember the number, but under them are your 5 diamond coaches, right? Are you going to keep flipping the cups to find them, or are you going to give up flipping the cups? Like, so I don't know why that sticks with me, but like every time I get down on myself, I'm like, flip the cup. Like, why would I stop now? Like, think about how many cups you're already flipping because you're getting all these no's. Like, just keep flipping the cups and you're going to.
What book is that again?
Build to Last.
Is that the Keith Callahan book?
By Keith Callahan, yeah.
Yeah, I think when everyone was just finishing that book up when I just started being a coach. So I didn't
Yep.
I didn't do that one.
I've heard good things about it, but I haven't read it yet. This is the third time I've heard it mentioned this week, and it's only Wednesday, though, so I'm thinking I should probably get it.
That's good. But yeah, that's just something you can, if that helps you think when you're going through it.
I really appreciate you guys letting me speak to you tonight, and I appreciate you dealing with me as I babbled a little bit, because I know I do. And I mean, you guys, I said it at the beginning, you guys show up. You have a great group on this team call. It's just all one team, or?
It's like 4 different teams, I think.
It's still a killer amount of people, though. You guys should be really proud that you're showing up like this.
Does anyone else have any more questions for her?
Yeah, I'm good with answering if anybody still has anything.
Or any questions for your coach, if your coach is on here and you have a question? No?